Welcome back to Canto 6. It's finally here. I'm sick from excitement. A lot to do, a lot to do. New pass available, new main story content, of course. Lose a bunch of ego shards and boxes and stuff. I got some thread from it, of course. 280 thread, nice. Down to 80 boxes, that's fine. Get some thread crates. Max level increased to 45. We get some lunacy, that's always nice. Yeah, I almost modulated my Captain out of habit. But let's take a look. Next season's pass. And then, immediately, I'm gonna buy the funny one. Yeah. That's obvious enough. It means I start with just 10 levels straight up. And I also just get a immediately level 4 ticket for the funny. And also, if you're set and inspired, please claim your rewards. Don't mind if I do. I'm just gonna skip this. I know it's I like to watch it, but I'm just too excited to watch it everything now. And I got enough experience to level up there because I like basically 99 my level, so I've got 300 in Kaplan to use. Let's see, any egos or anything? Doesn't look like it. Whoops, did not mean to randomly select one of these. Let's play them all first and foremost. And good stuff. 20 boxes is decent. Some lunacy, yeah, that sort of thing. But let's take a look at the future stuff first and foremost. When are we getting the egos and stuff? Level 30. Oh, Bygone Days is first. Interesting. I cannot tell whose that is. Maybe the other one will make it obvious. And is level 40 going to be the other Bygone Days? It is, okay. It's also not showing us what rarity they are. Because it used to say, like, heat, tap, that sort of thing here, but it's not here, so that's rude. So we get those to the first update, and then we'll get the rest of the stuff the other upgrade. Yeah. Electric Screaming, 55. Electric Screaming, 70. Checks out. Yeah, Binds at 90. One of them. And, it's a guaranteed deck extraction. Oh, there's an X because they didn't put the sprite for that in. Okay, I see. I was wondering what the X was. Very silly of them. Banner, they're gonna hide from us. Makes sense. And there we go. There's the other binds. Alright. And also the Season 4 completion banner. Yeah, we claimed all the stuff there. Past egos, already get the Battle Pass level 10, level 30 stuff. Gonna get a lot of pass levels that do nothing now, but it means I'm already almost level 40, so it's gonna be pretty easy to max out the pass in no time. Yeah, now that's done. Next step. Let me check out how my boxes are doing and stuff. 100 boxes, not a lot. Really isn't, yeah. I cannot shard Outis. So I'm gonna need to pull for it. That's alright. Oh, I can also open the thread crates. That'll be nice. It's good to start out with a decent bit of thread. At the start of the season, yeah. Starting off with 600, not too much because of how much I've spent on random things recently, but that's fine. We're doing good on XP tickets, all that sort of stuff. We get some more thread from the extraction ending. Yeah, Dead Rabbits, Boss Heathcliff, Wuthering Heights, Chief Butler, Outis. Wait, one more thing. If I go to, like, how does it work? It said you can, like, rewatch their extraction cutscenes somehow. I don't remember. I thought it said, like, press and hold or something. I don't know where, though. Okay, I don't know. Never mind that, then. Let's pull for the new IDs first and foremost, starting with our daily polls. Actually, wait, there is one more other thing before I actually get to the extractions. I did a one poll, but I remember what I was trying to remember. Because if you go to Dispenser, go to, I think Season 0, Announcers, Samjo Announcer, for a small 1300 paid lunacy. It's worth it for Samjo. Pleasure, Samjo from the Resource Development Department's Research Center. I've been dispatched to help with the K-Corp Excision mission. Hopefully my audiovisual assistance may be of help to you. Of course it will be, Samjo. We love you. It's so sad you turned into primordial goo. For the bit, let's get rid of everyone except for Angela. And you can see the Nelly and Heathcliff announcers there, although we can't get them yet. There we go, we'll just stick with Samjo announcer for this Canto. But yeah, now to the actual extractions. We did one daily pull, so let's just do the others. See if we get really lucky here. I'd love to get lucky right now since I do not have enough boxes to pull, like, to start her. And I don't want to go through a lot of lunacy. I've got a fair bit of lunacy and tickets and stuff still, but I don't know. I do not like spending it when next World Purchase Night is probably just around the corner. But yeah, daily pull on the actual target extraction banner. See what we get. And nothing. Only 1 star, so that's fine. Outis at least, though? Yeah, sure, that's fine. Well, let's just do the 10 pulls and see if we get lucky. Okay. Worst possible thing is this Meursault, at least. It isn't. Okay, didn't even get the 2-star from the first 10 pull. That is a good sign for the future, I think. Well, do another 10 pull. Once again, worst possible luck. Do we get Meursault? We don't get Meursault. What is this? 20 pulls and we've gotten literally the worst possible... Alright, we're gonna have to start spending lunacy. That's fine, we've got plenty. We'll get plenty from the Canto, too. Oh, we get something. Start with the 2 stars. Okay, that's not Meursault. That's also... Am I gonna get the... No, that's Meursault, isn't it? Okay. You're very funny, game. You gave me a 3-star Meursault, but the wrong one. Alright, send it back. Put it back. We're gonna get the 3-star no matter what, even if I need to lean too far into it. We're at least gonna get Meursault, right? There we go. Not expecting any guests on such a drizzling day. What are you, a hound drenched in alcohol? I assume that's supposed to be Heath, though. I don't know. Alright. This is gonna be really bad, I know. That's alright. I've still got plenty of lunacy, though. I'll be fine. I will be fine. We don't do 3 stars, we just pull them all immediately, since that's the only thing we're looking for. Another Meursault, at least. That's nice. Down to 10,000 lunacy after this one. Okay, we get something. Okay, that's good.
신발의 흙은 제대로 타셨습니까? 부디 당부드리건대 이 저택에서 제 허락 없이 가구 하나 함부로 건드시지 않는 편이 좋을 겁니다.
Nice. Did you make sure to clean the dirt from your boots? I implore you not to touch a single thing, even furniture, in this manor without my explicit permission. Wuthering Heights Chief Butler Outis. Nice stuff. How many pulls was it? Like 60? Yeah, 60 pulls. That's alright, I can live with it. Also, we can see her, you know, a bit clearer here. We didn't get proper, like showcases of all these ID skills, but we can see them fighting against the dead rabbit masked guys? Whatever those may be. We'll see. What do we get? I shall return before the next blink. I will take what surplus blink they have. Luncheon time. Return before the next luncheon. I'll take what surplus time they... Oh! T-Corp stuff? Question mark? Surplus time. Interesting. We do see, like, him with a, thing. You could also upgrade people. I'm not going to bring people past level 40 right now, I don't think, because it is very much not necessary. We'll stick to level 40 for now. It'll make it a little bit more of a challenge, right? We'll immediately level them both up to 40. We got 2 instant, like, level 40 tickets, so might as well roll with that. Yeah, there we go. So now they're on level. You're a little slow. Actually, that's because you're up by 1. Well, let's start with the Meursault ID, of course. See what his backstory is going to be. We will soon have to make time. Quite opportune that there are other gangs roaming our streets. I see this as the perfect opportunity to make some extra time. Yeah, very time-focused. Perfect sense for T-Corp, though. Very interesting, though. New song, cool. Starting the journal entry for today. It continues to rain in this alleyway. The rainfall has been continuing for precisely 135 hours. The rain did intermittently subside a few times during that period, but taking into account the humidity levels and the particulars of the nymphological conditions, it can be said that heavy rainfall has been continuing for the entire 135-hour period. Yeah, it rains a lot of Wuthering Heights, doesn't it? I have recommended that the family spend as much time indoors as possible, as heavy rainfall limits the kind of activities that may be conducted outdoors. But some of them are starting to become restless with cabin fever. The time to collect protection fees is also long past. We were compelled to act. The job itself went rather smoothly. though I must leave it in writing this unideal fact that raindrops soaked our coats, which weighed us down. Nothing was out of the ordinary. We successfully collected our protection fees and received sustenance from certain establishments in return for giving them a discount on the said fee. Some fled from us in fear, and some fearless gangsters dared to start a fight with us. We thrashed them all the same. It is a beneficial thing that we are consistently getting those that seek to challenge us, to test their sturdiness against our bats. We can fill our time reserves with theirs, and grow our renown amongst the gangs of District 20, so that we may rise to the top of the pyramid. It happened once we returned to our base after one such productive day. Of course, I had an inkling that something like this was going to happen. I felt that odd, puzzling gaze on me as I went about my day. It was not so different from that curious gaze of a distant stray cat. Not a murderous gaze, but it was certainly aggressive. Puzzling may be the only word that can describe it. That gaze followed us all the way to the base. With our base discovered, I wondered for a moment if I should reveal our syndicate to this interloper before disposing of him, but my worries were soon resolved. He appeared before us, stumbling like a wet hound. Yeah, wet hound. The dog symbolism stuff is definitely Heathcliff, yeah. And asked to be accepted as a part of our syndicate. I could tell that he was not a spy of a different gang or some foolish swindler who had more bravado than sense. I saw a pair of ceaselessly wandering eyes, dripping with venom and desperation. He must be someone with a history. Though thoroughly dirtied, the clothes on his back were made from obviously expensive fabric. So, I decided to test him. I had to know the extent of his mettle. I have no need for someone who is all bark and no bite, after all. He must be able to decapitate a person if there was a need to do so, instead of getting weak in the knees. Like, the interesting thing in this mirror world, it looks fairly much like that is just Heathcliff. So is Heathcliff himself in this mirror world? Very interesting if so. We'll have to see. Maybe it's someone else, but it looks very Heathcliff-like. I don't know who else could fit that, silhouette. So I lied to him that he first had to pass a test to join us. No such fool's ritual existed for the dead rabbits, of course. Luckily, we had a long-standing rivalry with a certain other gang. It wouldn't be so unexpected if one of us killed one of their lowest-ranking members. I ordered our new recruit, hopeful to kill one of them. I was surprised by two things. First was his complete lack of hesitation as he turned around to leave our base. Second was that, when he returned shortly after with blood all over his face and fists, he brought back the corpse stuffed into a sack. Okay, body sack? A promise is a promise, after all. He now rests at a corner of our base, easing his weary body. I thought I had spent quite the significant time as a boss of this gang, but this kind of surprise does not come often. Perhaps this won't last. Perhaps I have accepted not a hound, but a wolf into our fold. Tonight, I sleep expecting great things from this Heathcliff. Okay, so he is himself in this mirror world. It seems like fairly standard himself. I wonder if we're gonna get a Grip Sinclair type thing from the Heathcliff ending this season, where it's going to be normal Heathcliff, but if things turned out differently. If he had, become just kind of like a dog to Kathy. That's my guess. We'll have to see. And Grip Sinclair type situation seems likely for this mirror world based on that. I assume it's going to be one mirror world for the entire Canto, as they like to do so much. We've got enough of this stuff to just do you again. Max you out, of course, as I like to do. Take a look at your kit. Some of the numbers will kind of determine how good you are for Rupture stuff. Yeah, Clan Player plus 2, Standard, Skill 1. 2 Rupture count on his Skill 2, and that's the only Rupture count he has. Not great. And then... Rupture, yeah. He seems very standard. Although someone pointed out that depending on his HP value, he might be great for Talisman Sinclair's passive, right? If we pull up, oh god, I'm stupid. Talisman Sinclair's passive. Highest resonance times 2, Talisman's the ally with the most HP. So if we pull up a Rupture team, how much HP do a lot of the people have? 188. Okay, so Yisong already has more HP than Meursault, yeah. So that's definitely not going to be the case. So there goes, the only chance he had of being relevant was if he had a lot of HP, and he really doesn't. That is unfortunate. My egos are messed up, huh? Shh. I forgot about that. That's from the run I did recently. I shouldn't need to, like, fix all of them. I'm not using a lot of these people. And also, I want to take a look at the Identity Archive. I want to look at the Mirror Worlds. Chapter 6, World of Wuthering Heights. Okay, it's not of the branch. It's of Wuthering Heights specifically. Interesting. Well, that's enough stalling. Time to look at the really interesting ID. Wuthering Heights Chief Butler Outis. And see what your story is. A gift from the Mistress of the Manor. I must graciously accept her offering. So raw. Just gonna punch people to death, as you do. Hope not all the IDs this season are gonna be so, like, brownish, but, like, they might be, and if so, that's fine. I'm sure the special IDs will have, you know, hints of color on them. I'm sure some of the people in Canto will have color on them. You know, Kathy and stuff, like the pinkish, probably. Just because, like, I'm sure the rich people can get around the color thing to a degree. You can see a fair bit of color on this guy, assumably Hindley. Or maybe this is supposed to be Heathcliff, honestly. Heathcliff as an ID or something. We'll see. I've prepared the tea as you've requested. There is a chill in the manor. Please imbibe the tea before it cools. The child placed the cup on the table with such graceful dexterity that it barely made any noise. There wasn't even the infinitesimally small clatter of the teacup against the saucer. Her politely folded hands and slightly bent back did not even flinch from its fixed position. None of this may mean much to someone who's so used to receiving such top-notch service, but anyone who's not would realize something after a quick glance at the child's service. This child was a highly trained butler. Capitalized, sure. They capitalize it like this is like a reoccurring thing in the city. Like how they capitalize like fixers, or like how they capitalize whalers. Or like butlers like their own like level of like, is it a type of fixer to be a butler? I'm honestly expecting it. It's probably a type of fixer, which is really funny to think, but I guess we'll see. Now I must leave your side and plan for the reception of guests scheduled to arrive today. Please pardon my absence. The child bowed courteously at the quiet man, who was fully absorbed in reading the paper in his hands. She walked backwards towards the door and exited to the corridor. Her movement was smooth and continuous, not allowing even the smallest squeak as she closed the door on her way out. Chief Butler, Lady Outis. Yeah, Faust is also Butler. You can see it in the Uptie artwork. She's just kind of there as well. We're probably not getting a Faust ID this season, unless we get like a 2-star Butler next week, but I guess we'll see. There was another child waiting for her in the corridor. Faust. I trust that the preparation for the guest's reception is going smoothly. I know they might mean reception like fighting, honestly, but I'm so used to like Ruina using reception for like fights that it's weird for them to use it in like a normal situation. She nodded as though she was already expecting to see the other child waiting for her on the other side of the door, and began walking down the corridor. It seemed that the two had been working together for a while. The other child caught up to the child in a most natural, gliding gait. Everything that Chief Butler Lady Outis has ordered has been carried out. Every item entrusted to the Deviat has also been delivered without delay. They are all ready to be used for tonight's banquet. Okay, so Deviat is delivery service. I was kind of expecting that, after we figured out what Ovi was exactly, that they were delivery stuff based on the time Muller mentioned them. But yeah, good to know that's basically the confirmation. Also means we're probably going to get Deviat Season 0 stuff in a couple months. As competent as always. But I will not spare you any compliments, Faust. You must understand why, yes? From a certain perspective, the child's words and expression appeared rather harsh, but the other child's nondescript expression did not change. Perhaps all this was merely routine to her. Yes, such perfection is expected from the butlers of Wuthering Heights, bound to this land. Yes, besides, so was it uncapitalized there? No, it's capitalized again. I don't know why I thought it was uncapitalized. So I think it genuinely is like a whaler type situation where this is a subclass of fixers, which is so funny. The child continued, adjusting her monocle. As one of the butlers in service of our mistress, it would be shameful to serve anything but the utmost excellence. That is fully understood. Very good. I will make sure that the mistress hears of your devotion. This mistress the child was talking about had been dead for a long, long time, but she acted as though her voice still echoed in her ear. So Kathy is dead. Is she? Really? Huh? I'm gonna not think about it too much yet. Her attitude was too bizarre to be mere devotion to the dead, too earnest to be an attempt to retain the memory of the departed. It was as though she was holding regular conversations with the long-dead mistress. Every butler under her command knew that there was something strange about this whole affair, but no one dared to question her, because that was the kind of respect that a chief butler commanded. The other child mused the same as she followed from behind. I hear that their chief butler has contacted us. You must be referring to Chief Butler Lady Ryoshu, who left to serve the Edgar family. Okay. So Ryoshu is a butler for the Edgar family. For those who don't know, the Edgar family, I think, is, that's the family that, I guess both Kathy and Heathcliff marry into in the book. Because Kathy marries Edgar, which is why it's called the Edgar family, instead of Heathcliff, because, you know, Heathcliff is poor and stuff. So Heathcliff, in retaliation, like, has an affair with Isabella, who's Edgar's sister. As a child with her, so interesting stuff. Edgar family is going to be important, and I guess they are the guests arriving here. Although maybe not, since Outis is about to fight someone, because she's about to go into like the fighting pose, I presume. In this story, it has been a while since she left this manor. No need to stick with the honorifics. Chief Butler Ryoshu tells us the hunt for the wolf is nigh. Heathcliff? Are they speaking about Heathcliff like that? Are they going to hunt Heathcliff down? So the stray hounds return to the wolf, returning to sully Wuthering Heights in her honorable mistress's name once again. Good, this saved me the trouble of venturing out of this place in search of this beast. Yep, Heathcliff indeed. I wonder if Mistress is going to be, like... I wonder if it's going to be, like, the actual... like, Kathy's father. Maybe we're going for the mother more important than the father this time. I don't think so. Maybe? I don't know, because it's hard to say. The child's eyes narrowed. Do you have a problem with that? It is known to us that the wolf was once a very close acquaintance of the mastermind of this hunt, Ryoshu of the Edgar family. So is Ryoshu supposed to be... I wonder if Ryoshu is going to be Nellie or something. That would be strange, but maybe. I don't know. Nellie works for Wuthering Heights. So in this situation, I don't know if Nellie left? I don't know. There's a lot going on here. I probably should wait till the extra story itself to piece everything together. Faust is concerned that such emotions may cloud her strategies. Not even Faust has experienced this particular circumstance before. It's simple. The other child was speaking rather anxiously, but the child dismissed her concerns with a light scoff. I have no love for someone who abandoned this land in favor of her master, but a chief butler is a chief butler still. She is not the kind of person to be hung up on old kinships and matters as important as this. No, she will remain fully loyal to the hunt because it is something that she must see to its end. Perhaps it shall inspire an even greater dedication in her. Understood. As their conversation drew to a natural close, the stairs ended up opposed to the manor's grand entrance. That's like the same background person that shows up in the background, like Pikwat Yi song, I feel like. The same, like, weird bowl-cut E hair with the glasses you can't see through. Like a reoccurring background character, it feels like. It's just kind of generic designs, though, so I don't know if it's actually like that. It's filled with rows upon rows of butlers waiting for her orders. Interesting. What is all this for? Uninvited guests have arrived prior to the banquet. The butlers stand ready to meet the interlopers. Very well. Then let us use this opportunity as a warm-up before the hunt. The child stood tall before the rows of butlers. Wonder, is it going to be the dead rabbits attack them? That feels stupid, but maybe, I don't know. There was a group of outsiders standing outside the manor, their garbs indicating rather clearly that they did not belong here, not that it was any of the child's concern. I apologize for the delayed reception, dear strangers. Though it may be rather discourteous of me to advise you this, I must inform you that this manor is currently not receiving any uninvited guests. The butlers began preparing for combat the moment the child finished her sentence. The child wrapped the serviette she had been carrying over her fist and muttered, Now, dear uninvited guests, vacate the premises, if you will. Very cool. Yeah, a lot to be, like, gleaned from that alone. Oh, that's for sure. Yeah, we get our lunacy. I can't update. I don't have the Outis. Okay, that's fine. That's dealable. I've got enough yellow boxes to get like 10 worth of Outis shards. I need to get 11 from this though, so I need to get. I need not 11. I need to get 21 from this, so I'm 1 short, aren't I? Yeah. Alright. Be like that. One of those days, I suppose. Yeah, we got exactly 1 short. Alright. Yeah, we're uptying you to max, of course. And then we're going to take a look at exactly what her sinking looks like. Especially, I'm really excited for Echoes of the Manor, especially, because that sounds super interesting. You inflict 2 sinking, standard up skill 1, no sinking count, that's fine. Clash win 2 sinking count with a 3 coin. So it's a little bit loss of sinking, but that's fine. And then inflict 3 Echoes of the Manor. If they echo the manor to inflict gloom with any damage equal to sinking potencies, like a minor, sinking thing. And Clash win 3 sinking count on a 4 coin sinking. Okay, not a lot of sinking potency on you. A little bit, actually, but not on your skill 3. But that's because Echoes of the Manor is your main gimmick. 50% chance to gain 1 sinking count when gaining sinking potency or count from skill coin or effect. For 3 turns. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good, yeah. When the unit's pass, inflict 2 Echoes of the Manor to 2 random allies of this unit. Units without SP have a negative 10% chance to flip coins, reduces by 1 at turn end, and it's not cumulative, so effectively, if someone has 3 Echoes of the Manor, you inflict 2 upon them, nothing happens. If they have 2 Echoes of the Manor, you inflict 3 Echoes of the Manor on them, it gets set to 3. Right? So that's very cool. Defense, inflict 1 sinking, 6 slams per turn, yeah. And when Clash units targets less than 0 SP, Clash power plus 1, deal 20% more damage, very nice. Only affect, things with SP, though, since it needs to be less and it doesn't do anything to ones without. Deal 30% more damage on top of that against targets with Echoes of the Manor. And winning a clash without losing a single coin, heal 10 SP, or gain 3 offense level if you're already at max HP 2 times per turn. Alright. I see, that's very funny. In case you're wondering what team I'm running with here, I'm running with this. Because why not, really? It's like some sinking stuff. Your Rupture and your Tremor. Your Minor Tremor too, I guess, but I just want to use Outis since he's new. That's something. But yeah, I think that is covering everything that we need to cover. I think we're ready to get into the story. Of course, as per usual, it takes us a solid half an hour to actually get through all the normal stuff. But it makes sense. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. Really excited. Shame there's no egos, but I was kind of expecting it, although I was hoping to get something here. That's fine. Means I don't have to spend a bunch of thread to uptie them yet, which is good for me. That's enough stalling, though. Canto 6, the Heartbreaking. And you can see there's a new image on the actual map here where we can see Wuthering Heights itself. Very foreboding. Wuthering Heights, alright. And it seems we're starting in the... I assume this is a back street still, yeah. Looks very broken down. So we're probably going to start fighting some dead rabbits first and foremost, I'd expect. Unless the butlers are going to come out of the manor to hunt us, which sounds like it based on the update story. Anyways, let's just get into it. No description for this one, just straight up... Actually, wait, that reminds me. Let me pull up Canto 5 real quick, just to look. Because they changed how this looks, right? Like, if you look at it now... Yeah, okay, that's cool. Have they removed the text at the beginning? What? They're just no longer text before you enter. That's interesting. Yeah, you can see effective affinities, difficulties, stuff like that. Okay, that's cool. Enough of that, though. I'm sorry I'm stalling so much, but I'm just so excited. Oh, yeah, the update stories can show up here now. Come back, Heath. From the trailer. The manor where the last vestiges of its beauty remained in its violet flowers. The manor where its storm-broken breach has siphoned all that was once warm. The manor that gave you not only life, but also scorn and desolation. The manor where your place was, the frozen corner that couldn't be further from the hearth. Return from the moors. God. It's time for you to come home. Okay, I was just making sure that something didn't show up. I think the, time for you to come home text showed up down here for, a split second or something. I couldn't tell for sure. This is what T-Corp's nest looks like. We had surprisingly little trouble making it past the nest's borders. I guess my concerns were unfounded. Okay, so we are just straight up in the nest now. Makes sense. Well, somehow we made it through this nest checkpoint without any trouble. Ishmael's, or not Ishmael, Dawn's tempered herself a little bit, so that makes sense. Ahem. Here's nothing. Pursue such wild compliments are unnecessary, says I. Taking it as like praise, as like lowering praise. But we didn't say anything? He's grown so much. Everyone seems awfully relaxed for having just entered a different nest. It seems like the sepia tone is even more turned up now, which makes sense. I guess everyone's gotten used to this by now. Humdrum, routine, I guess they'd be the words to describe the general sentiment among the sinners. Except for one, that is. We're headed to this place called Wuthering Heights next, right? I could tell from Heathcliff's glum expression that his mind was weighed down by all kinds of complicated concerns. Huh? Yeah. Though his eyes were staring at the moving scenery past the windows, his mind was affixed on something that his eyes couldn't see, something that lay beyond the building walls. Wuthering Heights? That manor must have been built on one windy hill, huh? Yeah. Bloody Wuthering, like its namesake. I never knew comfort as long as I was there. Heathcliff's voice carried an unusually dark tone. The other sinners on the bus noticed this and began chatting him up. A return to one's homeland must bring forth quite the tangled mass of emotions. You sound gotta be feeling something from this, right? Although I don't know if we're anywhere near where he lived, but you know, wouldn't be surprised if he encounters some other, like, random person from the League just at the manor or something, I don't know. Homeland? Well, I think some of the League people, like, agreed to, like, work for T-Corp or something, right? They, like, kind of surrendered. I think they got in prison, but maybe they worked for it, so I wouldn't be surprised. I wasn't born here. I was raised here. I suppose that could still count as a homeland in a way. But it doesn't conjure in me the same feeling that a homeland is supposed to. With usage of homeland being because that's how something that Cleveland needs to focus on a lot. That is to say, you've no idea how many times I imagined it, played it out in my head, returning to that bloody manor, smashing every little thing in that place to bits until there is nothing left. Okay, so you'll smash everything to bits. Then what? Did you really learn nothing from watching what I went through at the lake? I did learn something. If I ever lose the plot and push myself to the brink of no return, I trust that one of you louts will pull me right out of it. Are you giving us permission to beat the sense back into you? I really hope this is foreshadowing for the Heathcliff boss, but we'll see. Yeah, if that's what it takes. It might actually happen. We'll have to see. Scary thought, but it sounds very exciting. It's so interesting. How far are we allowed to go with bodily harm? Amputation? Nerve mutilation? Thank you, Ryoshu, for turning a semi-heartfelt, dark-toned moment into I want you dead. Classic Ryoshu thing to do, though. Maybe we could at least smack his head really hard? Alright, you cheat. Seriously, this ain't an invitation to use me as your emotional punching bag. I'm not in the mood to. Still, I think your present self can do this, Heathcliff. Huh? What do you mean, my present self? Heathcliff, your present self is depraved. You're poor, and you don't have anything left. Alright. Where are you going with this? Honglu's so funny. He starts out sounding really genuine, then he goes back to sounding really stupid, and then he's gonna turn around to be super, like, heartwarming again in a second, I'm sure. What? Poor? Right, now you're skipping past that pleasantries and going straight into personal insults, yeah? Oh, I think you took my words the wrong way. Honglu is far from the most talkative sinner, but when he does speak, he usually has something insightful to say. Though since he never says it in a way that's immediately obvious, his words are very prone to misunderstandings. In a way, we're all deprived, and that can change a lot of things. Maybe there are things that we can understand only when we're left with nothing. There we go, yeah, he turns it around.
가난하여서
Not that poverty explained our current unsightly lack of colorfulness. Don Quixote looked mournfully at everything around her, then at herself. She sounded like she was about to cry. Yeah, for someone who puts so much emphasis on color fixtures and just bright colors and stuff, I'm sure it's heartbreaking for her. She's the one experiencing the heartbreaking so far. Although it's coming for you, that's for sure. Everything had been drained of color since the moment we entered D-Corp through the back street. It feels like even more of our colors have been taken away since then. I was wondering when we'd bring that up. Maybe we'll get our colors back soon. Or so I thought, like 10 hours ago. Are we gonna be colorless forever? Are we gonna be stuck in this gloomy hue for the rest of our lives? Seriously, nothing looks tasty in this sepia hue. I'm starting to lose even my will to live. Everything's in that sickly brown hue. Guys, even meat looks downright rotten in this color. That's a bit of an overreaction, isn't it? Oh, and what about those guys? They've got color in their clothes. With an annoyed look, Roja gestured towards the people outside the bus. Sufficient amount of payment must be made in order to retrieve your colors. Yeah, it must be emphasized that this question has been repeatedly answered on 23 separate occasions. Well, let me have a gander. His coat, his trousers... Ha, that bloke's not even that loaded. He's only trying to come off as though he is. Real talk, spare no cash to get every single color back, even to their trivial trinkets like the rims of their glasses. You also have to live without color when you lived here, Heathcliff. No, the manor had some color, yeah. Though it was still far from vibrant. For a second, I was wondering if I just missed something. They're really leading into the bit. Hongwu spells color like that kind of like American English way, and he just spells it the British American way. I didn't even... He said that there too, like, colors... It's just Heath that does it like the British way. That's incredible. Because the British color, you have a U there at the end when you know the American color. You don't have that U there. Alright. You're so funny. I wonder if this happened like at an earlier point and I just didn't notice. I wouldn't be surprised. God, they think they're so funny, translation team. They think they're so funny. And they are. Agreed. This is the color. Blood should have remained red. Yeah, she's worried, annoyed about the red not remaining. Do you have to, like, pay to make your blood stay red? Like, are they just paying to get color back in their clothes and stuff? Or are they paying to get color back in themselves entirely? Would you even bother with stuff like organs? That feels like overkill, but, like, if the rich people really spared no expense, they probably would. That poor sod's going to get himself chumped wandering about with that look. That's just enough color to invite the bandits, but not enough to keep him away. Yeah, makes sense. Red shoes, red hat. And that's like it. Very funny. It's not gonna let me play that sound effect again, darn. Just like a thwack. It sounds very similar to the sound like that made at like one point in the story. I think last Canto or something. I don't remember. He's pretty sure keeps enough. Several thieves surrounded the bloke who's only trying to come off as though he's loaded, and bashed him on the back of his head. See, a bunch of shameless villains they are! Preying on a weak civilian like a pack of hyenas! Are they what you would call a gang? Well, you know, the gang is Honolulu. The gangs of T-Corp have certainly seen better days. I wouldn't even call them a gang. They're just lowlives running out of time. Oh boy. The last time I was here, scum like him couldn't even dare to infest the streets so brazenly. Are they being, like, drained of time? I wonder if that's gonna be the dark thing, like, without colors, like, they physically drain you, like, they age you faster, and they, like, use the time or something to repackage it. Similar to how they repackage, like, the warp time stuff. There are gangs that aren't scummy? Of course, the gang I was in would never dogpile on some poor, unarmed bloke like that. Baron wants to vroom vroom. Can't vroom vroom with a roadblock. Well, there isn't much point in waiting for the situation to resolve itself. Virgilius finally spoke up after quietly listening in our discussion for the last few minutes. Take care of them before Don Quixote starts making a fuss about it. Oh, an enactment of justice! I thank thee! He's really started to get the hang of this, huh? Ah. Colors look even brighter there. I wonder if it's supposed to be like that. Oh, I wonder if... I think they might have accidentally applied the sepia tone on top of the CG when it was already sepia-fied or something. Because you can see, like, there, it's like, it's supposed to be a lot more red. It was still, like, kind of faded in the CG, and I think they've accidentally applied the sepia tone onto the CGs that have already been sepia-fied. There's no time in capitalization. Weak to blunt, yep, checked out. I think we've got a mostly blunt team going on here. We've got a little bit of Pierce thanks to you, and you're like some Pierce and Slash, but like, that's fine. We don't need to lean entirely into the strongest damage type you use, right? And now we'll get a chance to use the new identities a little bit. Super exciting stuff. Yeah, you can see it here. That seems like what it's supposed to look like, I think. Wait, you gets. This one's ours. Urgent T-Corp Gangster. Looks like you lot are running low on time as well. Tough luck, we've only got 30 minutes ourselves. Boy, maybe they're one of the dead rabbits or something. 30 minutes? 30 minutes for what? Ain't possible. The old dead rabbits and their vigilante ways are no more. All they do nowadays is staring at you funny from behind those odd masks. Interesting, so they've become culty. Masks? What? What are you? Bollocks, we don't got time for this. Let's kill him quick. They begin rushing at us with bloodshot eyes, not giving Heathcliff time to even finish his sentence. Interesting. Yeah, so they've gone on a time limit. I wonder, like, do they need to keep on playing time or something? Yeah, everything's so sepia now. At least the sin affinities aren't bright. I think there's a very strong chance, like, the boss or something is going to physically drain our skills or something, make them, like, brown or something. I wouldn't be surprised. Got a funny little ribbon there. I think if we select them like this, you can kind of see his colors a little bit better. Yeah. Oh, like this too, yeah. Like, he's reddish, kind of. And you've got, like a yellow bow tie and stuff. That's interesting. So that's what they look at without the modifier. So, like, in Mirror Dungeon stuff, that's what they'll look like. Good to know. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. You've got a funny bat, rupture stuff, and you're just gonna punch people to death with your butler-y fists. Butler fists, alright. Good thing. The mistress's voice. Oh, it's a gloom presence. I didn't even notice that. That makes a lot of sense, though. Interesting, though. Definitely gonna work super well with Jiang Lu, then, since he also needs a gloom resonance. Maybe I should have run him on the team, but he's strong. I don't think I really need to go for the strong ideas here. Looking at the actual enemies, though, the scared one has... They've all got wrenches. There's scared and urgent. Yeah, any passives or anything to look at? No passives at all. And they're tremory. Okay, makes sense. I'm not very shocked. Also, they sure are using Canto 4D1 for this, which is a very fitting theme, that's for sure. You know, that takes place in, like, the sepia stuff as well. I'm not paying too much attention to the insight for 2 DHADs, because I don't think it'll matter too much, but we'll see. First strike, suppose this is what a home run would feel like had he been a big city baseball player. But yeah, he wanted to be like a baseball player, he wanted to be like a diver, or he was a diver. He wanted to be a baseball player. Very funny. Yeah, I don't think these guys are worth giving too much attention, though. We'll just kill them quick and then be done with them, right? Weak to blunt is very unfortunate for, you know, people living in the backs, or not even, this is the nest, which is really interesting. Even the nest is fairly dreary, it's very Victorian England. Although I'm sure it's the kind of nest where, like, some places are going to be really rich and some places are really poor. Right? Sheepdog just told us that he'll take us all to a fancy dinner for Ace's battle. Something came straight from Escort. Enemies neutralized. Sheepdog, you should have seen that. He always teased me for having no talent when it comes to fighting. Oh. You're gonna keep on mentioning Dongring, and I'm just gonna get more and more angry that we don't have... I hate making the joke so much, but it's because I love Dongring. He's so awesome. And I'm so mad we don't have him. Maybe if Walpurgis Knight one day. I don't think so. Maybe he'll be revived or something. I don't think so. Maybe they'll grab like a mirror version of him, and then we fight him again, and then we get the ID. I don't think so. No more Farm Watch talk, though. I'm going to move away from that because it has been said millions upon millions of times by now, I feel like. It has worn itself far into the ground. Right, Resident? Sure thing. We could actually do that. You don't have to just go through this turn, that's fine. We can get the Mistress voice passive going, though, so that's good. There we go. That's a victory. Simple enough, easy enough first fight. Not that I was expecting it to be too hard. It was just goons that didn't really have much big mechanic to them. Guess they were going to be fighting for the first little bit. Don't really need to check that too much. There's no time to. More of these guys. Oh, we can scroll up a fair bit. We can scroll down a fair bit too. Interesting. I don't know if there's much to gain for that, but that might mean it's going to go further up and further. It makes sense it's going to go further down. There's probably going to be like a basement of the manor thing. The manor is probably going to be huge, honestly. Yeah. No time to. Enemy info is unknown, but like if we look here, yeah, it's going to be the same too again. Not really much of a shocker. We'll just keep on rolling with this team. It'll be a cool team to use. I haven't used Oofy Heathcliff too much, so it's nice to be able to use him a little bit more. Even if he doesn't have Blunt, and you know, the Tremor stuff doesn't help us that much. Oi! Nice hat you've got there. Where'd you get it? Oh, I'm sorry, please. Take everything. Take as much time as you want. Here's my watch. They physically, like, store time in their pocket watches, which is why they focus so much on that. And they need the time. Maybe, like, if it's a relatively smoky district, like, maybe, like, they can only stay in the smoke too long before they run out of time and, like, die. Interesting stuff going on here. We can only theorize so far, though. Sir Heathcliff! Heathcliff was looming over the man and growling threateningly. He certainly fit the look of a villain from this particular angle. Less, I was just complimenting him for his sharp fashion choices. The lad's overreacting. This is literally everything I have. I don't got any money for ransom even if you were to kidnap me. Please, please don't kidnap me. I've got family. They're all waiting for me to come home. The man we inadvertently saved from the hands of thieves was shuddering and screaming incoherently, almost to an unnatural degree. And we were still not out of the dark alleyways where other thieves might be waiting to get the jump on us. The hell is this racket? Oh? Well, well, well. What do we have here? I think I'm seeing loads of time rolling in right before us. 10 minutes. No, we'll take 5 minutes too. Hand it over, now. Why is everyone so obsessed with time? If you won't give it up willingly, we'll have to kill you all and take that clock for ourselves. Oh, especially when they see Dante, they're gonna be like, oh, that person's got a lot of time in them. Huh? What? Wait, me? Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there are more clock-headed people in this district with such a focus. Same two types of enemies, yeah. There's some fight encouragement on the expertise strong as orange, but I don't suppose you are in any so you can see it with them. Please enjoy it vicariously through me. Nom. Alright. He thinks he's so funny, and he is. Once again. Fortunately, we probably kill the enemy before we can actually spread the echoes of the manor too much, don't we? We don't have a lot of sanity reduction stuff on this team, really, beyond the thinking. We don't have a good way to spread thing, though, without, like, rhyme sync. Thing's weird. Yeah, you're low sandy. Actually, if we just don't kill you, that's actually not a bad idea. Bloom resins, because why not? Spare this guy's life. Because then, like, we'll kill his allies, and then it'll spread, I guess? Because he's going to be low on sanity. It's not going to matter, because we're going to kill everyone, aren't we? It's kind of pointless to try, you know, sparing these guys, it feels like. Okay, yeah, oh yeah, because of the manor panic type going on there. So we pull it up like it's been changed. Clash power -1 on self, deal 10% more damage on heads hit. Clash power -2 on self, gain 1 damage up. Interesting. It's cool to see it change. Echo of the manor activated. That's funny. Changing sanity types is a super cool mechanic. It's only a shame that you can only do it against normal enemies, and normal enemies aren't that hard, so it's not going to be that useful. I don't know, maybe this Canto is going to start placing like an increased focus on normal enemies. And maybe we'll get some Abnos and stuff that can be panic typed. I don't know. I feel like Manor still has a good effect against Abnos though, right? Because it just reduces the appearance of rolling heads. Super good against Abnos that want heads. Oh, beat this guy to death with a bat. Nice. All heads. That's good. Not a very strong skill, but like with regret is going to be significantly stronger, I guess. That's something to keep in mind. Meursault does always have regret. Funny as it always is. Boost his coin power further. Nice. Risky Adjustment is like our only like really good like sinking setup attack, I feel like. So it's like a fair bit of it's a fair bit of sinking, fair bit of sinking count. It's something, I guess. It's the only skill I feel like we have that's got good sinking and sinking count. I feel like a lot of the skills, especially the DHIDs, usually have like one or the other on their skills. Oh, you get some paralysis the next turn, thing is that class loss. That's unfortunate. He'll be fine, I'm sure. That guy's probably gonna... Is he? I don't know if it's panicked. He's panicked enough to spread it. Oh no, we didn't even do a skill. I thought that was a skill 3. No, that was a skill 2, wasn't it? Yeah. It was a bloom 1. My bad, doesn't matter then. The paralysis also doesn't matter though, since Rhodion's the only one who has to class this turn. Oh, he isn't debuffed, is he? I forgot to check, but I don't think he's debuffed. He doesn't feel debuffed. He might get debuffed when we get the actual manor itself or something though, right? Instead of the entire Canto. I'm expecting some degree of debuff though, since that's seems to be a funny bit they're probably going to keep on doing. Or it's like a not necessarily debuff. It has its upside too. You. Quiet, or you'll attract even more of them to us. Shut your gob right now, or we'll feed you to the meat grinder back at our rickety cannibal bus. Is that... Alright. That is very clear. Then... You're not here to kidnap me? No, for the... I don't even know how many times we've told you! Of course not. Indeed, for we are the Limbus. It's justice. He is trying so hard not to say it. The passers-by of justice. Certainly can be rather brutish in his manner of speech, that is all. Right, passers-by of justice. So why are they asking us for time, not money? He's just going to explain the bit here, I assume. Maybe time is just another commodity to be sold and bought here. Guys, is it just me again? The T-Corp pamphlet guide. Did no one really? Poor Ishmael. Ishmael's eyes start to glaze over. Once again, she may have been the only sinner who bothered to read up on our destination. In T-Corp, also known as Time Track Corporation, which we've known since LobCorp. Citizenry utilize timepieces as personal identification. They oft trade with time instead of physical currency. Their means of transaction done via the timepieces they carry. Most laborers in these lands are rewarded for their efforts with time. God. Thanks for the explanation, Yisong. I'll let it slide this time. Yisong and Heathcliff would know already without needing the pamphlet, since they've actually lived here. So, is this going to be a problem? Outis is the only one of us who carries a watch. Oh, you mean a broken wristwatch? I always thought that wearing a stopped watch was a neat fashion statement. They're calling it out. That's very interesting. I assume it's like a gift from Penelope or something like that. Probably gonna be pretty important sentimentally. It's not a fashion item. It never was. How insolent of you to assume. Right, I've been meaning to ask. What got you so freaked out about a kidnapping earlier? Oh, there's a pretty scary rumor of indiscriminate kidnappings going around these T-Corp streets. Oh yeah, they mentioned it in the mid-chapter, didn't they? These are abandoned streets, so when I saw a dozen or so people running around together, I was scared that you guys might be the infamous kidnapping syndicate or something. We need more details. I want the who, when, where, what, how, and why. Proceed. People have been going missing around here. This kinda became the last known location for a bunch of missing people. Everyone becomes a shut-in during the foggy days, because They don't want to get kidnapped. Look, it's even on the front page of the Times newspaper here. Mysterious kidnapping fears sweeps nest. Not even a single body found. I can keep reading if you want. Okay, the Times newspaper. You're so funny. Kidnapping fears sweeps nest. Not even a single body found. I wonder if that is dead rabbits then. I wonder if they've been like. They seem very culty now. I think they've changed a lot since Heathcliff left. They're probably working directly for the manor then, honestly, for Wuthering Heights. And there's some culty stuff going on, it feels like. Also, wouldn't be surprised if we see the thump at some point during this canto, but it's kind of not leaning that way, but it sounded like that because of the LCA being weird. Meursault, Rogia, and Don Quixote began enthusiastically reading the sensationalized titles and the attached articles on the newspaper he showed us. Oh, I gotta check out that award-winning eatery. Not so far from where we are. I'm sorry, Rodin, we're not gonna get the chance to. Maybe after we clear the canto. Some time retrieval fixers have said as such in these interviews. Are you guys even reading the same article? That's right. There's a lot less people around here than I remember. This street used to be packed with workers headed to their factory jobs and inventors selling their useless trinkets. It's never been this empty. This empty street of T-Corp was thick with fog, the bustling crowd from Heathcliff's memories nowhere to be seen. Maybe the lack of color made the fog appear even thicker. This reminds me of the kidnapping rumor we heard when we were working on the Blade lineage case. Missing people, maybe there really is a messed up kidnapping, human trafficking syndicate roaming this area. I've never heard of such syndicates strutting about this place, back when I lived here at least. It is a statistical impossibility for a human trafficking syndicate to leave zero evidence behind. There is bound to be one or two they let slip between their fingers. Especially if this syndicate is so prolific to the point of indirectly discouraging the public from leaving their homes. A body or two will invariably be found. If they really didn't leave any bodies, then maybe it's worse than just your usual murders. Maybe it'll be more dangerous the more we look into it. That is a very solid point, Honglu, yeah. If it's not just another violent tragedy, then maybe there's more to this than we think. Maybe there's some powerful organization pulling the strings. You know, that's a lot of conjecture to make just from the fact that no bodies have been found. I'm sorry? Guys, the night in the back street. Yeah, it could just be sweepers. I was wondering about that. But, like, I feel like then they wouldn't be panicking if people were just getting swept, because that's normal. Single sweep from those sweepers leaves nothing behind. Every trash in the back street, including corpses, is completely cleaned up. It is a nest, though. Right, they'd clean up even the corpses, yeah. Of course, it's kind of scary that they clean up more than just trash. Yeah, the idea of sweepers really freaked Sinclair out for a while. That's because Roja kept making funny noises and sweeper impressions at me every night. Alright. Fair enough, he doesn't like ghost stories, and I guess sweepers kind of falls in that similar criteria. More gaming, indeed. The ladder, ooh. And that's the approach to Wuthering Heights, so we're getting there pretty quickly, that's exciting stuff. This is just a story thing too, yeah. Looking at me, it's been an hour, but like, because the first half is just story stuff, I might as well go longer for at least this first part, right? I think that makes sense. A serious case of missing persons in a street shrouded in thick, heavy fog. It's almost as if we're in the middle of some scary urban legend. But not that I'm scared. Not at all. Don't force yourself to laugh, Sinclair. I don't like this at all. We're this scared so soon after entering the nest. Uncapitalized, interesting. Everyone seems to be on edge, thanks to the unsettling story we heard earlier. I feel like I focus on capitalization far too much, but it's because Project Moon's very, like... translators are very, like, consistent about it usually. Usually capitalization means something. It usually means it's some sort of force beyond our interpretation of the word. Like, if you see nest lowercase, it probably means, like, you know, Oh, like a bird nest, but capitalized. You know that's one of the weird city takes on nests, which is, you know, the big city thing. Right? Odd when they don't capitalize stuff like that, then. I know what to do. Hey, Heathcliff, that invitation. Can you read it out loud for us again? It'll be a good idea to remind ourselves of our current mission. Besides, I could use a refresher myself. It's been 3 months. We saw the invitation in the Christmas mid-chapters. Fair enough. It's just an invitation. There ain't anything special about it. The neatly folded invitation Heathcliff produced from his pockets completely betrayed his attempt at appearing aloof. It was full of such tender care that it almost resembled a neat paper craft. He cleared his throat. Sometime later. Please, honor this occasion with your presence. With great respect, Nellie. And... Bollocks. You have to be here, Heath. I'll be waiting. Kathy. Alright, good. Oh! This wasn't exactly what I had in mind when I asked him to read that letter. Yeah, it really wasn't, but it checks out. What are we, a party crowd at some dive bar? Oh, that wasn't what we were going for. I knew that this would happen. I ain't even mad. Besides, all she said is that she'd be waiting. She never said she missed me or wanted to see me. Come on, bud, just look at the way she wrote it. What do you know, Gregor? I really don't think you're, like, the person to, like, use for advice in a situation like this. Let me see. Some sitters gather in a circle like they're doing a literary analysis of the invitation letter. Maybe I was worrying too much. Like school kids opening their first love letters. Even Sinclair's like, these guys are so silly. What? Were you never interested in those things, Sinclair? I was a good, diligent student. The only thing is I never cared about my textbooks and the school lectures. And Damien? Sinclair, the countenance appears to be turning rosy again. For the last time, I said, it's genetic. What about you, Dante? No. Oh, never mind. Hey, what's with that oddly sorry look on your face? Manager has no need for your sympathy. I am certain that there are those who appreciate their unique appearance. Is it not odd? Of course, odd being a Yisong pun. What, that someone actually wrote Heathcliff a love letter? Oh my, Yisong, that is such a rude thing to say. No, I had no intention of relaying such crass sentiments to... Flustered. Just kidding, Yisong. Just kidding. I was actually thinking the same thing. Since we're not looking for a Lobotomy Corp branch of T-Corp, capitalized, since we're heading to this Wuthering Heights manor instead, I suppose that's where we'll find the golden bow. That was precisely what I had intended to convey, Miss Ishmael. Thank you for bringing that up. I was starting to get tired of being the bringer of unpleasant news. Hopefully, none of you are under the impression that we're headed to Wuthering Heights just because of some invitation Heathcliff received. Because if you are, you'll be sorely disappointed. We're always on business trips, you could say. Right, so if we're looking at the context she wrote this in, what she's really trying to say here is... No, bud. You gotta look at the tone she used here. Sure. Moving on. It is great to have just annoyed Ishmael shenanigans once again after Canto 5, where she was just fuming the entire time. It was like getting the late age of Canto 2, but now we can really appreciate it once again. Back to normal. For her, at least. There was a report from the LCCB that the golden bow has been observed. They narrowed its location down to somewhere within the Wuthering Heights manor. But there was a significant risk on account of the manor's unique security system that prevented the before team from conducting their on-site preliminary survey. The exact location of the bow is yet to be identified. Yeah. Unique security measures. Not sure if I remember anything like that. Right. Then it's even more odd. No other way to put it. She made the Yisong pun there too. Is Yisong gonna be like, haha. Indeed, though I remained ignorant of the monetary value and the public perception of its worth. I do know that the golden bow is not an item so easily obtained that it may be housed in a normal, private manor. They housing abnormalities in their manor too, aren't they? Like a petting zoo of abnormalities, I feel like. I feel like that's something rich people would do. It can be shared that the golden bow wasn't always located inside the manor. The golden manor said, like, bring, like, wealth and stuff and, like, good luck and stuff. Like, it makes sense that rich people are like, oh, we need this. And they probably have it, like, displayed in, like, a vase or something. I see. That the golden bow, its previous location in an unknown area within the T-Corp's Lobotomy Corp branch, has been transferred to the manor for a reason we are yet to be aware of. Right. Then, this Catherine person will be a major part of this operation. To have a golden bow all to herself in that manner. And she's got to be one confident woman, too. Confident enough to believe that Heathcliff will come to the manor just to see her face, even if it wasn't for the golden bow. None of this conversation seemed to even register to Heathcliff, however. He's still being bothered by those two. Oi, let me know if you see a barbershop or a boutique nearby. This isn't a tour bus, Heathcliff. We will not make unnecessary stops like the ones you suggest. Right, I get it. Then why don't you just leave me behind and go on ahead? I'll catch up. So, Heathcliff, I've been watching the shops very closely, but I haven't noticed a single open shop. It might be because of the rumors from earlier, and the fog. Why don't you just leave it to us? Roja and I... What the hell are you? Wait, who are you? Being dragged off to play dress up with those two. Once again, he's gonna get dripped up a little bit. We can see it from one of the CGs in the trailer. Colors, yeah. Oh, yep, we can start to see it there. Some of the purple-colored flowers, the Heathcliff flowers, as they're known as. I assume it's Heathcliff's. That's like the flower that Heathcliff is associated with, logically enough. Yeah, moving up a fair bit. Interesting. Wonder if it's going to be like, oh, node here, node here, node here, or something like node here, 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 here. I wonder if they're really going to go all the way with this winding path. I think they will. We'll probably fight. I mean, we're either going to be greeted by some of the butlers. I feel like they wouldn't greet us outside of the gates, though. But we're probably going to see some dead rabbits. Colors. Yep. We love those colors. The bus had emerged from the back streets into a rather unique-looking village. The fog was still thick, and everything was still in that faded hue. Even the occasional sightings of pedestrians had ceased. The very idea of color variation seemed like an alien concept here. All I see are orange-hued lights coming through the windows of misty gray buildings. It was as though everyone decided to stay indoors for the day. I can't even tell where we are, or how close we are from our destination anymore. Have you been here by any chance, Yisong? He was the only other sinner who had spent a while in T-Corp, so I decided to ask if he recognized anything, but it was evident that this scenery was unfamiliar to him. Though I have resided here for some time, most of my hours are spent earning a living and conducting my research when I could afford to do so, as I have not ventured freely the streets of T-Corp. I can't imagine doing any research at a place like this. Can't have been easy. It's quite manageable once one grows accustomed to this monochromatic sight. The presence of variance in color itself is a concept alien to those who are born and raised in these lands. Imagine never seeing a color and seeing a color for the first time. Well, I guess they do see a fair bit of color from like rich people here and there, so it's not like they're not familiar with color, they're just used to not having it, right? And I had shoulders of those that I could lean on, even for a fleeting moment. It helps to have such support when acclimating to a place as foreign to this. Yeah, Dong back and Dong graying. Closest friends. Yisong looks away to a place far beyond from here. Memories of his past, most likely. Did you ever hear anything about what T-Corp's singularity is? As all singularities are, its true nature, its mechanisms, and functions are all something of an enigma. Yet, Yisong paused and carefully began to speak.
시간과
I am aware
관련되어 있다는 것만은 알고
is
있었어.
that it has aught to do with time, though I am unsure of its use.
어떻게 다루는지는 모르겠지만
Well, I suppose all this is but meaningless conjecture, and only Miss Faust among us may be aware of the answers. Its singularity is one of the reasons T-Corp constantly drains color from its inhabitants. What's time got to do with color? If the control of time is so imperative to T-Corp's operations, then they must also control the realm of light. Oh! Visible light, yeah, I guess that makes sense, I guess. In a weird way. I'm not, a scientist, so I'm sure it doesn't make the most sense, but I see the relationship. As light inherently has much to do with the spectrum of colors, these two subjects eventually overlap. That is as far as I could deduce regarding the concept of time that I am aware of. Yet it must also be said that it takes time for me to reach Faust's specific knowledge regarding T-Corp's singularity. Faust gotta be heartbroken to not remember K-Corp's singularity. Maybe she still does. Maybe she knew about it beforehand, honestly. I don't think she ever voiced surprise at it, but that's... Faust wouldn't have any surprise to her, even if she didn't know, right? She didn't know. Faust, known among us for her, maybe, and perhaps, rarely ever gave us answers this detailed. Then now's the time to ask her all my questions. Miss Faust, as we discussed the subject of time, indeed, it will be safe for us to move on from the subject of T-Corp at this time. There she goes again, teasing up with stuff she's not going to tell us anyway. Well, I guess I should be glad that she decided to tell us this much. I doubt she'll tell us more no matter how much we pry. That's kinda sad. That there are people who've never seen color their whole lives, all because of this singularity. Well, that's just how it goes, isn't it? In the eyes of a stranger, we'd just be another one of those poor, miserable people who's never seen color. That's the danger in trying your very first bite of the meat. You taste it once, and you'll never unknow the flavor. And in the end, you'll start to wish you never tried it. Yeah, very fitting thing for Rodion to say. It is pretty disappointing that even the sun loses its vibrancy here. Even the sunset, huh? Oft did I long to see the colors of the sky, especially the sky that looms over a light shower of rain. Yeah, the sun shower. We get the bit. Yeah, things like the color of the sky, too. You long to see it only because you've seen its beauty. If you were born here, never to escape its borders to the last of your days without ever seeing the blue sky, then I'd hardly call that death miserable. Calling even that miserable is nothing but sheltered arrogance. I guess that could also be true. The atmosphere in the bus suddenly became incredibly frosty. Oh, hey, speaking of color, I got something to ask you. Have you guys ever heard of the colors game? Apparently, each type of personality has a corresponding color. Roja, who was the one to chill the bus in the first place, was also the first to break the ice. Yep, very fitting for her. If Yisong enjoys the light blue color of the sky, then... Let's see. You must be a thinker and a philosopher who prefers the calm and quiet. Yeah, you've been with these guys for like... How long has it been, like, in Canada? It's been, like, 9 months or so? Because it started, like, what? Like, it started, like, 2 or 3. It started, like, a March-ish, I think. February-ish, probably. And now it's November in Universe. So, yeah, it's been almost a year for them. Still a little bit under, but... Still, it's pretty clear to say if you guys have at least a pretty good idea of each other's personality by now. Oh, how did you come to know that? That is quite a remarkable talent. Oh, Yisong. I wish my favorite color to be rated as well. Pursue that quite fancy the color of red. Nay, yellow. Nay, red. Nay. Now, wait your turn. Next in the order is Faust. Yisong's color is gray as well if we're going with Sinner colors, so the color choices here are going to be random. Pink, her color is called cerebral pink for a reason. She's a brainy. Wait up. I know exactly what you're about to say. You're about to say, Faust does not hold much belief in such ideation, or something like that, right? No, she's gonna be like, I like pink. Which is exactly what people who like the color white would say. I'm right, aren't I? Like, your hair's white, too. I will not comment further on this subject. He's mentioned before, like, her hair is just naturally white. Probably because of some awful experimentation on her or something. I assume it's something similar to what happened to, like, Angelica and, like, Argalia, with their like, being experimented on, like, being from the backstreet stuff, or being from the outskirts, stuff like that. I don't know, though. Me? My favorite color? Shh, what a stupid question. That's Nakflas. But I like... Pauses. A great manor begins to emerge into our view from a distance. I can immediately tell that this was the Wuthering Heights manor Heathcliff had mentioned. Black. The color you get when you dump an entire set of paint into a bucket, innit? And that's exactly why I tolerate it. Keep throwing paint over paint over paint, and you get black. Simple. I can clearly hear that Heathcliff is muttering through gritted teeth. I have a feeling that black wasn't always his favorite color. Yeah, he used to like a vibrant purple, but that color's been ruined because of Kathy, I presume, to him to some degree. Got gonna be a lot of color imagery going on this Canto, logically enough. The makeover, okay. Yeah, we're gonna go here to here, probably, or something, or maybe we're probably like somewhere, yeah, probably like 2 more nodes in this path or something, if I had to guess. I don't know, though. Maybe they're not gonna keep on going for the bit. You press on. I'd like to get another fight before I end the episode, but I might not need to, depending on how long this cutscene is. Two things changed the moment Wuthering Heights Manor appeared over the horizon. It sure looks cool, God. Very thundery, very wuthery, I'm sure, with all the wind and the thunder and the rain. And you can see some kind of dilapidated-looking houses down there. Looks kind of broken, too. I wonder if, like... I mean, like, Wuthering Heights is like a... That's the manor itself, but there's, like, a name for, like, the area. I forget what it is from the book. Like, what the people who own Wuthering Heights also own, like, their nearby land and, like, rent it out to people and stuff. Like, the narrator for the first part of Wuthering Heights is a guy who, like, is renting out, like, one of the places so he can get away from people. Then he learns of all the horrors and decides, like, nah, this isn't worth it. Wonder if, like, all the people who used to live around Wuthering Heights are gone now, or they've been turned into some sort of weird culty thing. Mirror. I need a mirror. Anyone got a mirror? Come on, anyone? I mean, he's not got Yon Sim. You could blend that. What has gotten into you, Heathcliff? This mirror isn't... Yeah, Yon Sim. One was Heathcliff, who was suddenly overcome with intense anxiety. And the other was the weather that grew dark and tempestuous all of a sudden. Dark and wuthering, if you will. What a terrifying noise. Was the weather here always this awful? It was always this windy, yeah. Almost like a constant tempest. Like what? But this thunder and lightning? Well, the weather at Wuthering Heights was always this awful, thunder or not. That really is one massive manor if it looks that big from this far away. I can't see well. I'm not sure if this is the right place, but we're here. Lightning goes boom. Eyes go ow. This manor looked as though it came straight out of a dark, gothic tale full of mysteries. I was half expecting to hear a haunting cry echoing from its windows. So are we just waiting for Virgilius to go off the bus again? When hasn't that been the case, Manager Bud? I mean, it's not like we're digging into a Lobotomy Corp ranch or entering one of the wings, right? It's just a manor, so I don't see what's stopping him from coming with us. No, off the bus. It is. Karen and I will wait outside until we're done with our mission? None of the sinners were hiding their dissatisfaction with Virgilius. Some of them were even standing with their arms crossed. By the looks on your faces, clearly you all collectively have something to say. Of course not. I would hardly ever dare to challenge the... Yeah. Well, maybe not every sinner. We've gone through a lot of things, survived various trials and tribulations that could have been easily handled if Virgilius had been there with us. So, Virgilius. Looks like Ishmael decided to step out of the representation. You introduced yourself to us as our guide, didn't you? So what kind of guy just tosses everyone at the start of the journey and goes off on their own with the bus driver? Where are you guys even going? I want to make it clear that I'm not being for no good reason. I'm asking you because I want to trust you. After all, we're technically all on the same boat. We're co-workers. I'd say the least you could do is to tell us where we're headed. Virgilius held his silence for a moment. His brows were not as furrowed as they usually are, which was the only indicator to me that he wasn't as offended to hear this as I thought he'd be. Just like you sinners who joined this company via your individual contract. I also signed a contract, with specific clauses and conditions I must abide by. Huh? The company made thee, a color most illustrious, sign a contract as well? Of course I did. Why would I be babysitting you children on this bus otherwise? I'm not one to work for free. I don't want to bother detailing each and every clause of my contract to you, nor should I. But Ishmael, I quite like that you used the word trust in your speech, so I believe that you deserve at least a brief explanation. I am not supposed to retrieve the golden bows myself, nor am I allowed to provide you with any direct support. The contract stipulates that I must leave everything to the manager and the sinners. There's the explanation. I hate all like the red frauds talk because it is very clearly not true because like yeah, of course he can't help. I don't know why people are acting like he could assist this entire time. Why would you sign a contract like that? As always, it's meaningless to ask me why. Contracts are rarely ever fully understood by those that are not a part of it. But what I can tell you is that when I ask you sinners to leave this bus for a mission, I suppose in a way I say it with a lighter heart than I used to. Oh, this is so sweet. I am no longer concerned that, in my desire to fulfill the conditions for every clause in my contract, the manager might be irreversibly hurt. I would be left with nothing if such a thing were to happen. Did you just admit to trusting us more than he used to? Don't make him repeat something like that, Dante. Especially when someone went through the trouble of expressing their true, hidden feelings. Besides... Oh, wait. I am not going in there like this. Nope, can't do this. Wait, turn the bus around. He doesn't do U-turns. Bollocks. I ain't going back to the manor in these wrinkly rags. Oh yeah, right. Every single one of our elaborate plans to dress him up in fancy clothes fell through. Hey, you don't look that bad. If I go back in these rags, they will... Those... Who are they? Always eyeing me up and down, trying to find a speck of dust, a single flaw, something to latch onto just to humiliate me. Joseph, mainly, I think. And gouge out their eyes. Oh, that would be quite the clever solution. What are you even... Looks like Heathcliff is the only one who's taking this seriously. Oh, they've been scheming. They've been scheming. What was wrong with the pair of you? Quit giggling like that. Good thing we came prepared exactly for this occasion. I just couldn't imagine Heath managing to pull off this makeover on his own. Reggie and I did some shopping in the back streets before we entered the nest. We were waiting to reveal these just in case there was anything more impressive in the nest, but thanks to the disappointing lack of anything even remotely interesting, we'll just make do with what we picked up earlier. Oh, wait a bloody second. Where the truth you went off on your own? No, all you brought back was a whole basket of cookies, wasn't it? Those cookies were decoy cookies, Heath. Some of them did end up as a part of my daily sustenance, of course. Well, I couldn't find the particular brands I used back home. These should be more than enough for a proper fashion makeover. Berg, come on. Can't we keep things nice and happy for once? Let him wear something else other than his uniform. Just for today. I mean, they wore the Tang outfits for a little bit. It's not the first time they've, put on different clothes. Like, no one wants to meet their old flame while wearing their work clothes, right? Well, I doubt the guy'll ever let anything like that slip. Fine. He's just a big softie. It's unfortunate a lot of people really do not understand that. Please read Leviathan if you haven't already. What? I would prefer it if we didn't have to encourage another rogue incident with the back door. Seriously, guide! Heathcliff trembled like he was about to give Jace a big hug. Now, Heathcliff, close your eyes. Relax, and let us take care of everything. Pretend you're at the proverbial peach blossom spring. Wait, don't touch my hair like... Whoa. Oi, you ain't half bad. Alright. Why is there hammering noises? What are they fashioning? I'm so glad that they're using this art style again. Because they have, in case you aren't aware, they use these funny, little chibi drawings a couple times for random posts they did on their Twitter before the game launched. A while before the game launched. I'm so glad they're bringing them back, because they're so funny looking. And they did something similar with, the Leo Rodion. I'm very glad to see it, though. Sometime later. Ooh. Yeah, very dripped out. I think you might have overdone it with that hair. Don't touch it. Do you even have any idea how hard Hong Lu worked on that? Where does that go? It's the reunion of the century. Can't possibly let him say hello to his old flame with a big brutish club in his hand. Sir Heathcliff appeareth a tad more merciful than usual. Mayhaps he shall accept my request should I implore him to purchase me a pint of ice cream. Right. He hasn't changed at all, He just looks fancy. And he no longer looks like he's on the verge of punching me when I make the smallest noises. Yeah, a very clear thing going on in this Canto is the fact that outward and inward appearances do not line up at all, and this is going to change nothing. As far as the people at Wuthering Heights are concerned, a brute is a brute no matter how much he gets dressed up. Lad, please don't bring up anything even remotely like that in front of Catherine. Well, I'll be. Clothes really do make the man. Do let me know how this reunion goes. I'll be looking forward to hearing that tale. You'll have to wait 2 weeks for Julius, but you'll be very happy to hear it, I'm sure. Sure. So, Heathcliff? I've been meaning to ask this question for a while. I wanted to know the answer, but I couldn't bring myself to ask him. Why do you leave Wuthering Heights? It's where the love of your life lives, isn't it? Heathcliff, you've been busy moving about, preparing to leave the bus. Suddenly comes to a halt. Very reminiscent type of theme, huh? I didn't mind it. The thrashings, the starvings, the abuse, them treating me like a servant, like I'm something beneath them. I didn't mind being treated like I'm nothing more than an afterthought, like I'm some impure trash to be discarded. But when I heard what Catherine said, I realized that I no longer had any reason to remain in that manor. Heathcliff did not elaborate further. Perhaps it wasn't that he didn't, but that he couldn't bring himself to. I didn't dare ask him what he was about to say, so I simply nodded in response. I see. Oh, looks like Karen's got something to say about your new fit. Karen has something to say. Something big. What is it? Great, awesome. Now, Karen, what do you think? She's gonna be like, you look like awful. Looks oily and greasy. Karen doesn't like greasy. Oh, this isn't how I thought it'd go. Karen's word must have hit him hard. It took quite a bit of convincing for Heathcliff, who was severely discouraged by Karen's remark to exit. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. That's out. The front gate, yep. Finally, we're going to make it to Wuthering Heights itself. A lot of story stuff though, as Canto. Not that I'm really surprised, but there's only been 2 fights and it's been pretty minor goons. But anyways, I think I'll end the episode off there. Join back next time and we're going to actually get into the manor itself, and I'm sure we're going to be met with a less than warm welcome. But anyways, that'll be all for this time. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!